grew up in a very religious and dysfunctional home. I was raised going to an apostolic church, and if you don't know, they are very much focused on outward appearances. You're not allowed to cut your hair. You're not allowed to wear makeup. You're not allowed to wear anything but a jeans skirt. And I remember as a little kid feeling very left out a lot at that church. That church still has the same amount of members. You know what? They have less members than back in the day. And I truly feel it's because when people that they didn't know would walk in, or somebody with blue hair, dyed hair would walk in, somebody with jewelry would walk in, somebody with too much makeup would walk in, they were rebuked. They were let known that they were not allowed there, that they were not accepted there. Religious folk were called Pharisees back in the day. At the time of Jesus, they were offended because Jesus would sit with sinners. Jesus would go and sit with people who were doing tax collection in a bad way, an illegal way. They were rich people taking money from poor. Jesus would sit with these people. And, you know, religious people are in this delusion that their self-righteousness is taking them to heaven. And just like at my old church, these religious people distance themselves from unclean people, from sinners, in their delusions of self-righteousness. I need you guys to hear this because I see people that are of the church, people who call themselves followers of Christ. You are pushing people away from God. Your unacceptance. You thinking that your sin is better than their sin. You call yourself a follower of God, but you do not show the love of God. If it wasn't for God pulling me that one day that I planned to commit suicide that night, He told me the first things that Jesus told me was, I have not rejected you. I do love you. You were made in my image. He told me these things because He knew that I thought I was not accepted from the church. He knew that religious folks had pulled me away. How did God get a witch out of her witchcraft? How did God get a rebellious student to listen? Through love. God is love. He's not saying that sin is acceptable, but He will love you anyway.